guy lost a disc down in the creek. He went to throw it again, and he just plucked it right at the edge. He went to get that, and then he dropped another disc, and it rolled into the water at the bottom of the creek. His like 6-month-old puppy follows him down into the creek. One of his friends let him go, and so they're like, "Oh my God, the dog's down here!" And then a friend went to get the disc, went to throw it up, and went even farther down the creek. He was like 5 minutes of just belly laughing at these guys. They just couldn't get the disc out. We got some good viewers yet?
That's what casual water is for, so you don't mess with that.
That's 6.
Hey everybody, we're here with This Disc is Great with Steve and Nate, episode 3. We're going to give a couple of minutes or two for people to join, but we're going to be reviewing the Innova Shryke. So for those of you who are here already, you can comment on this video to win one of these discs. Ask a question. The Star Shryke is going to go to somebody who asks a question about the disc itself, and then the Blue Shryke will come up with a good way to give that away here in a minute. But while we're waiting for people to join us, we had our second monthly company disc golf round yesterday.
We did.
How'd that go for you, Steve?
You know, want to thank everyone for voting for me, but I have to say I did let you down, and I ended up taking second by 1 stroke. I let one hole get a hold of me, had 2 bad throws, and ended up taking a 5 on when I should have gotten a 4, but I should have got a 3 as well. So that was probably the only crutch I had. How about you, Nate?
I mean, it was a good time being out there with everybody
it's always
playing,
fun.
but it was not my best showing on the course. That Aspen's a fairly easy course. I feel like I should shoot under there. There's only one hole that I should for, and yeah, it was bad. I couldn't putt. I had some pretty terrible drives, and I had like 3 shots that I felt good about. But that happens sometimes. I think I shot +5, which is real bad for
course
me.
record?
Probably. Anyway, again, we're here with This Disc is Great with Steve and Nate, episode 3, the Innova Shryke. This is really, I can't keep these things on the shelf, so before we even get into the review, I'll tell you that. I have a hard time keeping these in stock. So we're really excited about this disc. A lot of people are excited about this disc, so we're gonna talk to you about it here in a minute. How are we doing viewers-wise, Evan?
20.
20?
Thanks, guys.
All right, again, share this video, like this video, comment on this video, and you can win some cool stuff. Somebody who asks me a question about the Shryke, ask us the question about the Shryke, will win this yellow Star Shryke, yellow, orange, somewhere in there.
Athletic gold.
Athletic gold, there we go. And then we'll find another fun way to give away the champion Shryke. We threw both of these for the review. All the shots you see in our video footage are the Star Shryke. And then we went out and threw the champion Shryke a couple weeks ago to get an idea of what it flies like in comparison. So let's go ahead and get started. Before we get started, we do have a sponsor for our review series. They're nice enough to hook us up with free pro versions of their app. It's called UDisc. Steve, why should people download UDisc?
UDisc is probably the best app out there, if not the best, for keeping score, tracking your distance. It keeps track of individual discs, so you can have 5, 6, an entire bag of discs and know how far it can go, what kind of paths it's going to start to fly at. Like if you don't have any numbers on it, you can put those numbers in there so you understand what this disc can do. It lets you find courses all over using GPS, and then it even gives you stats for your rounds and stuff. It's just wicked awesome.
Yeah, it's a great app. I love it. I'm really enjoying having it. And all the distances you see in the videos were measured with the UDisc measuring tool. It's pretty sweet, so check it out. Again, keep liking, commenting, sharing this video. Ask us some questions, either about the Shryke or about disc golf in general, whatever you want to do. Evan will ask those for us. We will be giving away both of these discs towards the end of the video. So let's talk about the Shryke. Here's what Innova says about it. Innova says the Shryke is an easy-to-throw, very long-range driver for a wide variety of players. A mild high-speed turn puts the Shryke in glide mode, which along with its aerodynamic speed, give it incredible distance. The low-speed fade is also mild, which makes it easy to keep it on the fairway. The Shryke is similar to Innova's popular turn, but faster and slightly more high-speed stable. So that sounds like exciting just to me. Steve,
Yeah.
What do the numbers look like?
Star, plastic, you got 13 as your speed, 6 glide, -2 high-speed turn and 2 fade. With the Champion Shryke, it's a little different. The only difference is, since it is Champion, it does have a little more stability, so it's not going to have as much high-speed turn. So it's got -1, 2 for its numbers. And really, they're, you know, you look at it, you got a high-speed disc, you look at the profile, and it's not the domiest of discs, but it does have a little pop to it generally. It's hard to find one that is just super flat until you get into like the G-Star plastics, where those really just don't have as much pop.
And I will say, this is probably the coolest stock star stamp I've ever seen. I was really sad when these came out and didn't have the same stamp.
Yeah.
But these are sweet. They all have this stamp. They're freaking awesome. I like these a lot. So yeah, it's a big, high-speed driver, nice big rim, has a lot of glide, has a decent amount of turn, which is good for lower speed arms. It's going to get you that distance, and a fair amount of fade back. So Steve, from the description, from those numbers, what did you kind of expect the disc to fly like?
Well, I know when I tried to throw my Macbeth destroyers, I got super fast disc, and it's got a ton of fade. So I was like, okay, this is a really fast disc. 13, like I'm barely getting my destroyer this fast. What's going to happen if I try and throw something that's 13 speed? And I really haven't thrown understable drivers until I got to this disc. I was trying to turn stuff up. I was trying to turn destroyers over, and I tried to throw this flat, and it turns over. So.
So yeah, well, when I saw the numbers, I was like, okay, it's gonna be like a turn. My turns are a little dumpy for me. That the -2 scared me a little bit. Innova's -2 drivers tend to be too flippy for me, and they dump over and turn and burn on me a lot. So I was a little nervous, thinking, okay, I'm not like this is too much. It's gonna be too flippy. It's gonna be a really low. It's gonna be katana-ish, very low for guys with lower arm speed, or I'm gonna have to really hyzer flip this to get it to fly the way I want. But let's check out our video clips and see if it flew like that or not. Evan, go ahead and zoom in here.
Please.
Again, check out the UDisc app. It's a great app. Does a lot of cool things. All the distances you see are brought to you by UDisc. So, who's up first? I think it's Steve.
I think I was up first.
Oh, I didn't click the right screen. There we go.
All right, so that is basically flat. That came out basically flat. Really just kept going straight for a long time and had a nice easy fade for me at the end. 370, I'm pretty happy with that. This was probably a bit of a tailwind since it really didn't turn over too much, especially from flat. I'm loving the flight of this disc.
I was going to say, I think this came out of your hand a little, let's see here. Yeah, that came out of your hand a little hyzer. So if you throw this on a hyzer, it actually doesn't have enough turns to super just turn over on you. So on a hyzer, it holds it fairly well, which is surprising to me. And again, big fast rim discs. Gonna skip if they hit the ground flat, so we got a nice big skip over here. This one I got fairly flat, a little bit of tailwind in the same situation. It flipped to flat out of a little bit of a hyzer, rode straight, got that little air bounce, and faded out really consistently, about 394. Which again, my arm speed, I'm topping out around 425 on a. Went out a couple days ago with these and hit a couple that were 440 with the Shrykes, just throwing them. I felt pretty good about it. But yeah, this is going to get you your max distance, some nice consistent turns. It's a lot straighter than I expected it to be. This one Steve gets on a little bit.
See, look, that's hardly any follow through, and I'm turning this thing over and it's going straight, and then it's having a nice fade at the end. Like, I feel like this is the most effortless I have to throw to get a disc to just pop up from a hyzer. It's just scary how fast that these things can get out to that distance. I've let my friends throw, a few friends throw these, and they're just like, dude, this is sweet. They're even beginners. They might not get the full 13, but it's flippy enough at the speeds they are throwing it that they're still getting 250 with this similar flight pattern.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the easiest distance discs I've ever thrown. This one got pretty nice and flat, holds that turn a little bit, carries, glides.
Yeah.
Like I said, that goes into glide mode. It really does. Like it just glides and goes. Again, it's 405 on a pretty easy hyzer.
That was probably
Hyzer
300 there almost before it finally decided to fade on him.
Yeah, it's probably closer to the 375. It fades fairly. It does fade pretty straight. Doesn't crash out super hard like the Gladiator from last week. Like the Gladiator, when it starts fading, it's not going forward anymore. It's done there. This has got some forward fade out to it. Again, super easy distance. Again, we were throwing that Gladiator maybe what? I think our farthest throw was 375 last week.
Yeah. And that was max power.
Yeah, and this is way easier throws, just really just going.
All right, guys, let's pause for some questions. Ryan Swindrowski is asking, he said, I think this disc could replace my Daedalus. Have you guys thrown one of those? And if so, how does it compare?
I haven't personally thrown a Daedalus. Have you, Steve? Okay, so with the numbers on the Daedalus, I think are 14.6, -4.2, maybe -3 in the Champion. So the Daedalus is going to be a little flippier for you, which that's where... Like, that's what I expected this to fly like, honestly. I expected this to be more dumpy, have that more turn. For me, I wouldn't be able to throw Daedalus on much other than a roller. It's going to dump out on me a little hard. So this could very easily replace your Daedalus and be a little more consistent for you, a little straighter, less. It's going to get punished by the wind a little less. For if you have a slower arm speed, this will do okay in the wind for you. So I think it would be a great thing to try to replace your Daedalus with, honestly.
All right. And then we got Adam asking, is it along the lines of a Colossus?
Have you thrown a Colossus yet, Steve?
I have not thrown a Colossus, but I have a buddy who throws like 6 of them. And the way I've seen his fly, I thought he was just trying to turn them over, but he was in fact hyzer flipping his disc, and I think they are very similar. But I think the Shryke has a little more flip to it.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that. I can probably throw the Colossus close to the way I throw my Shryke, but I've got to try a lot harder. I had a Colossus for a little bit. For me, it was pretty beefy. This is pretty effortless distance. It's a lot. The Colossus is a -1.4, so it's supposed to be a little bit more stable. And it's a 14 speed, so you really got to crank on it. I don't think you have to crank on these as hard to get them to go as far.
Travis Karen says, nice, loves the graphics, it really helps. I think I could provide a nice home for one of these lonely discs. I had a Shryke very briefly. I put too much turn on it, and it anteed out and rolled into the ocean.
Oh.
So that's a sad day for Travis.
Yeah,
sorry, man.
These will turn if you put them on an ante. They'll hold it and they will turn. So, but I haven't had them turn and burn on me yet from a hyzer flip unless I was throwing into pretty decent headwind.
Michael Anderson wants to know, could it possibly be a good roller disc when it's broken in?
Oh yeah.
I think so.
Oh yeah.
I think so. I think I threw a couple rollers with it, and my roller game's not the greatest, but it's got potential for it.
Yeah, one round, I didn't want to grab another disc to throw after I just thrown with it, and I went for a forehand, and it turned all the way over, and it rolled good 200 feet off of that in a straight line. I was like, I think I found my roller.
All right, we got a crossover question here. Anthony's asking, he knows hyzer and anhyzer are disc golf terms, and inside out, outside in are ultimate terms. Even though they describe the same thing, my question is which ones are the equivalents? Hyzer equals OI or hyzer equals IO?
Okay, I always get these backwards. Hyzer, this is a hyzer, so it's when you throw it with the tilt. I think that's IO, right? Okay, so hyzer equals IO. Anhyzer is when you put the opposite angle on it, and that's OI.
Where the outside is up here
Yep.
and it's going in. So
Exactly.
there you go.
And if we use the term hyzer flip, we're throwing it on a hyzer and expecting it to flip the flat. Like if I'm throwing a Gladiator on this angle, it's going to hold that hyzer the whole way.
Oh, yeah.
If I throw a Shryke on this angle, it's going to pop up and go straight. So when we say hyzer flip, we're looking for discs that we can throw hard on a hyzer that'll pop up the flat and then fade out.
All right, well, let's keep going if you guys got some
Let's
more.
let's hit the last couple. We have 4 more clips, I think, where we get a little bit more pop on these guys. This was Steve's farthest throw we've measured so far.
Just monster turn. Now it starts to fade. Like, I really ripped on that one. You could definitely tell. I put some stank on it, and it was probably floating. It was floating like this for that long time, and it has this really, really smooth fade. Like 410. I can do that with the Shryke on a regular basis. This is how easy this disc is, and I'm not throwing it with 100% power, but nice and smooth. You just get that snap, that release, and the disc wants to do the work for you.
And the consistent fade out that we've been seeing on all these throws is what I didn't expect out of this disc. So this one I got nice and flat, gets that big old turn, just like we've seen on the other ones, and that consistent fade out right about 410, which again, that's where I'm happy with anything over 400 on my drives. That means I got some good pop on it. I'm feeling good about it. And this is, again, probably the easiest disc I've gotten over 400 feet. Like, I don't have to try nearly as hard. It just happens. And then, all right, so you sidearm throwers, you might wonder, is this a good sidearm disc? And if you've watched the Waco Charity Championship, Jeremy Colling, Innova's biggest sidearm guy, was flicking these discs all over the course, which surprised me. But let's see how it performed for us on flick lines.
That basically is straight.
Yeah,
That's basically a straight line. I don't throw a whole lot of forehand, so I was really happy that this one finally went out good for me. And 300 on a forehand is like, I usually forehanding something super overstable.
Yeah.
And just trying to make it get out there. That was a nice hyzer flip to straight. 300 is a really big forehand for me. So I would love this disc for forehand.
Yeah, with my forehand, I'm usually going for consistency. I flick highly overstable discs more for a consistency factor. Like, I know if I crank on my Gladiator, it's gonna come back. Like, I can trust that. So generally, I'm throwing those discs on a big anhyzer, letting them fight out of it. This disc, you can throw flat or you can throw hyzer and hyzer flip it. Like, I don't hyzer flip a lot of flicks, but that's exactly what I do here. Flips up to straight and just carries and a consistent fade out. Like, I was really surprised. I definitely didn't think this would be a flick disc for me, but I like it a lot as a flick disc where I don't have to mash it as hard. If I need to flick something straight or in the woods, I feel like this is something I can go to and feel good about it. A little bit more so than my rates, which are my go-to drivers. Like, I feel like this is a consistent flick disc, especially in the Champion. The Champion's got a little bit more stability, and I felt really good flicking it the times we were out there. 270 for my flick is pretty solid. I might get to like 320 on a really great flick. So on an easy flick, just throwing it flat and straight, letting it carry, I feel pretty good about it. I like it a lot as a flick disc. And again, Jeremy Colling, one of the world's best forehanders, is flicking this disc, so it can't be a bad option. All right, so that's all for our video clips. So Steve, did this disc fly the way you expected it to, or was it a little bit more? Was it more overstable, more understable? What surprised you about the disc?
Yeah, when I first thing was the feel, the disc in Champion, Star, and G Star, that rim, although it's wide, it's not terribly deep. Like, it allows most people to be able to get a good grip on this disc. And then as well for forehand, it's basically perfect. It's just enough to cover the finger, and just the grip comfortability is perfect. I thought I was going to have to be throwing this way harder to get to a 13 speed, but nope. Lo and behold, the amount of instability, the amount of flip that this disc has causes it to almost be less speed. Just how much it wants to come up, but it always had that predictable fade out.
Yeah.
If you didn't just completely make it dump over.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, that's what I've said it a couple times. That's what surprised me, the consistent fade on this. I've been loving this disc. This thing bombs. It's a great disc. It doesn't have as much turn as I thought it would, and it's got more fade than I thought it would. Flies great. We had a couple people ask similar questions to this, but what disc do you think it compares to pretty closely?
I'm gonna have to say the turn, but the amount of fade that it still has, like it's kind of
It's
hard
a little more
to say.
straighter and consistent with
Yeah.
than my turn. Like it's similar to a turn, but my turn is a little more touchy. Like it would flip too much or it would fade more than I thought. Like this is a lot more consistent than that.
So how about an Archon?
The Archon just feels weird in the hand. Like it's got an odd rim to it, which I have buddies who love it, but for me it's just like the Vulcan top on it. It just doesn't feel as good in the hand.
Sure.
But it flies somewhat similar. It's like a faster Beast, faster Valkyrie, those kind of things. It's similar to my Destiny with a little less action. Like my Destiny turns more and fades a little more. This is a little straighter than that. But I'm loving it. So we talked about this a little bit. This comes in 3 different plastics. It comes in the Star, the G-Star, and the Champion. We sell all 3. All 3 are on our website right now. It's got a big restock in, so check those out. We'll post a link to that later. How does the plastics compare?
Champion Classic, the number is different because it does have more stability. So you got 13.6, -1, 2. Your Star Plastic, my personal favorite, which
And the stamp's cool.
just the stamp is awesome. The -2.2, I would say that's the most consistent that I felt. There were some times I just couldn't get enough on the Champ, but then we got the G-Star, and this thing is flippy. Like,
at least the one that we threw is definitely flippier.
Was flippy, man. Like we were throwing spike hyzer flips, and they were just going forever. It was great.
Yeah, there is some people always question, does the plastic really matter? And there is noticeable stability difference in the 3 that we threw. This is definitely more overstable than the Star, but it's still got still has the great turn, the consistent fade. This is definitely more flippy than the Star, but still faded out. I had to throw it on a hyzer, but this is the only one that dumped out for me. If I threw it Annie, it stayed Annie and dumped. But I threw it on a big hyzer, it popped up. I think I threw it probably 430 when we were out there, and it just flipped and kept flipping and hyzered out. It's definitely got, so if you are slower arm speed, you might tend towards the G-Star. They're all great. I'm probably gonna start working some of these in once I have the opportunity to snag a few. I like the Champion a lot. So Steve, we kind of talk about this every week. What kind of shots is this good for?
The way we had been throwing them, just going for that max distance, I'm looking at either puring a tunnel or somehow just riding a tailwind, or there were a few times where we had a weird crosswind and I was able to make it ride with that wind to really just kind of throw a long straight to hyzer shot.
If we've got like a 20-mile-an-hour headwind, are you throwing this disc?
Yeah, actually I would.
Really?
I would.
Okay.
I love how much it'll fight through that wind, but you have to know how much it's going to flip.
That I would disagree. Like the Champion one, maybe on a hyzer, I'd trust it, but in a headwind, I'm probably not throwing this. That's when it's going to flip and dump. This is your tailwind, your calm, just bomb driver.
I guess I'm a little risky.
Ripping on it. I'm probably wanting some more stability into a headwind, but also on the flicks, like if it's I would probably wouldn't throw this on tunnel shots on a backhand because it does have nice S for me, but I can throw this sidearm with the power of my sidearm. I can throw this flat and throw it straight.
Yeah.
So if I need a straight flick, this is probably what I'm turning to. This is also a great disc for lower arm speed players. If you're not getting on destroyers, if you're not getting on bosses or defenders or nukes, this might be a great option for you to get some more distance. Like this is probably going to be the farthest falling disc in most players' bags.
Absolutely, I completely agree with that. If you like the Champion feel, don't be afraid of the Champion. But if you're really looking for the distance, I would say your Star and G-Star, for almost every player, will be able to get some really nice, easy distance with these discs.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and give one of these away.
Yep.
The question disc is the Star, right?
Yep.
Star Shryke. Shryke. Innova.
Shryke.
Star Shryke.
Which is apparently some sort of bird.
The winner of this disc is Craig Muchow. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but Craig Muchow. You are going to be the winner of the Star Shryke. And your question is, What driver would this disc replace in your bag?
This disc would definitely replace the other high-speed drivers, like my Destroyer. I've got a 152-gram Macbeth Destroyer, and it's still, I'm not hyzer flipping that disc. And this one, these Shrykes, I'm throwing on a really nice hyzer, and they're just popping up and just going. I was throwing 400, dude. I've not thrown 400 that easily, like, ever.
And I would say you probably want to keep your Destroyers in your bag for wind.
Yes.
But for me, this is coming really close to knocking my Wraiths out of my bag. I've got some great beat-in Wraiths that fly like the Star. My straighter Wraiths fly like the Champion. I'm probably going to start picking a few of these up. So like I'm switching my bag to being a little bit more pro style, where I'm trying to keep fewer molds in it. So I don't have enough Shrykes to put them in the bag. Now I only have one, so I can't use it. If I lose it, I'd be screwed. So I'm going to start picking up a few more of these, and they might work into my bag as my go-to driver, honestly. So it's going to replace your turns. I'm trying to, it's probably close to like a flippy trespass. It's got more turn than the Sheriff, but it's going to fill a fairly similar slot to the Sheriff. Maybe like a crank. It's like a less stable crank from Discraft, something it could replace. Something along those lines. This is your max distance bomber driver, straighter than a Katana, but similar distance out of it. Like, I'm loving this. This is my favorite disc that we've reviewed so far, for sure.
So far, so good.
All right. Do you guys have anything else? We can give away the other disc.
Yeah. Anything else we need to talk about it? Just buy this disc. Seriously, I can't keep these on the shelf.
How much is it, and where can you get it? And what are the numbers again?
The numbers again. Champion has slightly different numbers. It's 13, 6, negative 1, 2, and the Star is
13, 6, negative 2, 2.
Same thing on the G Star. The Star plastics, G Star and G Star are $14.89 on our website. Champ is $12.89. I just got a bunch of them in today. Got them on the website for you guys. They're there. Go to the disc golf section. They should still be under the new releases. So if you hit the new release tab on our disc golf section, they'll be there, fairly close to the top. Check them out. They're great discs. If you're a low to mid arm speed player, they will add distance. I almost guarantee it.
What are the weights on the disc? What are the ranges that we have? Do you know?
We have I've got a fairly wide range of Star. The Champ is a little heavier. I just put them all in. So we have anywhere from 175, I think, down to like in the mid 140s. So we got a pretty good. And anything that we throw in our reviews is going to be as close to 175 as we had, just to keep it consistent. So we were throwing max weights, so if you get some of the lighter weights, you're going to get even more turn out of it. So it could be even more distance, depending, and maybe less control. But if you're a lower arm speed player, get the lower weights. That helps.
All right, guys, we're going to give away one more, and the winner of this disc, we're going to ask you to comment where you're from. So we want to see where you guys are viewing us from, where you're watching, and we're going to give about 30 seconds for you guys to comment on where you are from, and then we will give away this blue Innova Shryke. So I will bring that in a little closer. So this disc is going home with someone tonight. So guys, make sure and comment on where you are from. Falls City, Nebraska, Woodstock, New Hampshire, Michigan. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep hearing this.
So
Carroll,
this summer,
Iowa.
I'm going to start getting out on
Emporia, Kansas.
some mini tours. I'll be in Emporia at the end of April with the disc store tent, so hopefully we'll see you there. I'm hitting up Ledgestone in August, so we're going to be out some tournaments. Hopefully we can meet some of you guys and hook you up with some sweet disc store stuff.
Do you think people want our autograph?
I mean, they asked for it in the first video. There were 3 or 4 requests to autograph it, so you know.
All right,
We're getting there.
comments.
Steve.
Keep coming, guys. You got about 10 seconds left. Michael Anderson says yes, GBO. Jeremy's from Peoria, Illinois. Moorhead, Minnesota.
I guess I'm not technically in GBO yet.
Mustang, Oklahoma. Jacksonville, Florida, year-round disc golf. I love it.
Go ahead and let's
Crescent City, California, right on the ocean near the Oregon border. And I guess that's the ocean you lost your disc in there. So sorry, Travis.
Yeah.
That makes me frown a little bit. Brandon says, autograph them, haha. Can you both sign the disc for me? Craig, they have already both signed it for you, so
So anything you win from this disc is great with Steve and Nate is one of a kind. So you can't get it anywhere else.
That's true. I don't want to see these on dollar disc golf auctions, guys. So
I do. I want to see them going for a lot of money. I'm cool.
Yeah,
with
unless you sell it for a lot and give us a cut of it, so that'll be good.
that.
All right, guys. Thanks for commenting where you are from. The winner. I'm scrolling through right now, and I'm just gonna let it stop, and we're gonna see who the winner is. The winner of the Innova, is this the champion Shryke?
Boom.
Is going to Minnie Mickle from Mustang, Oklahoma. Thanks,
Nice.
Minnie, for commenting.
This thing goes.
Message
440,
us.
So.
You guys can message us on Facebook to claim your prize. You can also email us at service@discstore.com, and we will ship these discs out to you as soon as we can. Be on the lookout every Wednesday for A Disc is Great with Steve and Nate video.
I think
And-
next week we're gonna do the MVP Signal is my choice for next week. So the MVP Signal, it's a pretty sweet little disc. It's got some definitely some potential. So check that out. We'll be here every Wednesday at 5.
All right, thanks for watching, guys, and make sure and comment and share on this video. We'll still answer your questions after the video has gone live. So congrats to Minnie and Craig for winning these discs today. Check out the Shryke online, discstore.com. Click on Disc Golf. And thanks for watching.
Hey guys.
See ya. Yeah, I'm kind of sad to let this one go.